The girl looked up, and a lion cub fell down from the tree. She had no idea where it came from, but seeing its poor little face, Alma couldn't even think of leaving it alone in the jungle, so she brought the cub home with her. When Alma was about to close the door, a white wolf, who was holding a cub in its mouth, suddenly barged in and sat quietly in the corner of the room. Alma was surprised, but she gathered her courage and looked carefully. She realized that she had seen a white wolf before. A few days ago, when she was roaming in the jungle, this wolf suddenly appeared and scared her. But this white wolf didn't look aggressive at all. She just looked at Alma as if she was asking for help. That's when Alma saw that the wolf was entangled in a rope net, which was preventing it from moving. Perhaps a familiar scent coming from Alma's clothes made the wolf feel calm. Alma suddenly remembered her grandfather's video, which she had left for him. In that video, her animal friend was this white wolf. She felt that her jacket still smelled like her grandfather, so she took off her jacket and put it next to the wolf so that she could be reassured. Then she cut the net with a small knife, but as soon as the wolf was free, it left without looking back. Still, Alma was happy because she had freed an animal, but she never thought that that same white wolf would come back with its cubs. It barged into Alma's room, which made Alma a little worried. Her quiet home suddenly turned into a zoo. She just wanted to practice her piano and was preparing for her exam. But she was very tired of these animals. She thought of calling the police, but there was no signal in her phone. That's when 2 petrol officers from the Wildlife Protection Agency came to her house and started asking about the lion cub. They found out that the mother of the cub was killed by hunters, and that baby lion was sold to a circus at a very high price. But when they were taking it, the plane crashed. Fortunately, the cub woke up in the nest of a bird on a tree, but a hawk attacked it and drove it away, and fate took such a turn that it fell straight into Alma's arms. Alma first thought that she would tell the truth and return the cub, but when she heard that they were going to send her to the circus, she changed her mind. She decided that she would hide it. Alma had lost her parents at a young age, and a few days ago, her dear grandfather had also passed away. That's why she knew how painful it was to lose her family. When she came home, she saw that the white wolf was feeding her cub. That's when the cub walked towards her. Alma got scared. She was afraid that the wolf would kill the cub. But surprisingly, the cub went to the wolf and started drinking milk with the wolf cub. And the white wolf didn't even stop it. Perhaps for her, the cub was also a small cub who only needed love and care. Alma was moved by this lovely sight, and she decided to adopt both of them. In the next few days, the 2 little kids became best friends. The 2 kids would play inside the house without any worries. They would play here and there. The white wolf would return to the cub and feed him milk every day. Seeing such a beautiful sight, Alma took out her phone and started recording every moment with the cub. The 2 kids got even closer to Alma. They would follow her everywhere. When Alma would practice the piano, they would quietly go out to play. But as soon as she would stop, both of them would become her little shadows and would stick close to her. Sometimes the 3 of them would sleep in a small wooden cabin in the middle of the forest. Sometimes they would jump into the water. In the evening, they would sit by the side and watch the sunset. And at night, the 2 kids would hug Alma and sleep peacefully. A few days later, Alma's long-awaited piano exam came. She told the 2 little kids to stay at home and not to do any mischief. And she promised that she would return in 2 days. She also opened a window so that the white wolves could easily come in and out. Just as she had hoped, Alma's performance was unparalleled. She made her own mark in all the contestants, and she won a place in the Los Angeles Symphony Orchestra. Her lifelong dream came true, but Alma was not happy because now it meant that she could not take care of the 2 kids again. The wolf cub still had its mother, but Alma started looking for a safe place for the lion cub. But the trouble came before her expectations. One day, when the white wolf was on the hunt, the staff of the Wolf Conservation Center saw it. They quietly picked up their tranquilizer gun and took the white wolf without saying anything. When Alma returned home, the sight she saw shook her. The 2 little animals were starving and had turned the house upside down. Things were scattered everywhere, which made her angry. But when she looked for it, she did not find the white wolf anywhere. To find the wolf, Alma ran outside, but the wolf was nowhere to be seen. In the end, she had to return home out of helplessness to feed the hungry kids. The sudden departure of the white wolf was very painful for Alma. She did not understand how to take care of her job and these animals at the same time, so she took a difficult decision that she would hand over the 2 kids to the Wildlife Protection Agency because maybe they would be safer and happier there. Maybe they also had some idea. So that night, the 2 quietly came to Alma's bed and hugged her, as if they did not want to leave her. Alma's heart melted. She made a promise to herself that she would never leave them alone. And then Alma left the symphony orchestra and decided to spend her entire time taking care of them. After the white wolf left, the 2 kids now considered Alma their mother. Alma gave them new names. The wolf was named Mozart and the lion was named Dreamer. Alma's dream of music would now come true. Mozart started behaving like a musician. He started playing the piano as if he was a maestro. When Alma played her piano, her sweet tunes started echoing everywhere. That's when the cold weather came. The entire jungle was covered with snow. The 2 kids were now big and strong. Alma made delicious dinner for them every night. Their hunger had now increased a lot. Both of them would get a lot of meat for them so that they could eat to their heart's content. However, those who were always ready for them were still a little scared seeing their growing size. That's why they told Alma to contact them on the radio every day so that they would know about their safety. As Mozart and Dreamer grew up, their area also grew. But Alma did not realize that as the weather changed, the danger was also slowly moving towards them. As soon as the snow melted, life returned to the jungle. One day, a mother and daughter came to the island to pluck flowers. When Mozart and Dreamer saw them, they ran towards them at full speed. Alma got scared. She was afraid that something might go wrong. She ran fast to stop them, but she suddenly collided with a stone and fainted after hitting her head hard on the ground. Hearing the sound, Mozart came back first. When he saw Alma lying on the ground, he got scared. Just as a small child cries and apologizes, Mozart pushed her again and again and tried to wake her up. That's when Dreamer also came. Both roamed around her and screamed, hoping that someone would come and help. But this was a lonely island. There was no one there. It was night, but both did not leave Alma alone. In the cold and darkness, they quietly sat next to her and protected her. The next morning, Grandpa, whose voice was heard on the walkie-talkie, was promised a check-in every day. But that day, he called many times. He did not get any answer. Frightened, Joe immediately took his boat and left for the island. When he reached Alma's house and could not find her there, he started searching the entire island. Mozart saw him and screamed loudly. Joe recognized the voice and finally saw Alma lying on the ground, but there was a wolf and a lion around her. He did not understand how to move forward. In helplessness, he called the police. Alma was immediately taken to the hospital. Doctors said that in that cold night, if Mozart and Dreamer had not been with her, she might not have survived. But because of Joe's emergency call, Mozart and Dreamer were taken to the conservation team. Being a rare species, Mozart was well protected, and there, finally, he met his mother. But Dreamer was not so lucky. The police sent him back to the circus. When Dreamer saw Ringmaster Allen, he was filled with anger. But his fate was not going to change. Allen told his son Rafa that if you really want to control a lion, you have to put fear in his heart. Then he started beating Dreamer mercilessly with a leather stick. On the other hand, Alma was going crazy thinking about Mozart and Dreamer in the hospital. She secretly ran away from the hospital and went to the police station to get some information about them. But the police officers not only ignored her, but also said that it is illegal. Alma decided to look for them by herself. Soon she got in touch with Ellie, who was the director of the Wolf Conservation Center. Ellie told her that Mozart is very happy now. He has met his mother. Hearing this, Alma felt a little relieved, as if half of her burden had been lightened, but her heart was still restless for Dreamer. She had complete faith that Dreamer must have been sent back to the circus, and she swore that even if she had to go to all the circuses in the world, she would find Dreamer. On the same day, the circus crew passed by the Wolf Center. Mozart recognized Dreamer's roar and screamed loudly, but the circus people went ahead without stopping. At that moment, Mozart had a bold decision. He would find Dreamer and save him and bring him back. That same night, Mozart dug a hole under the wire fencing and ran away from the Wolf Center. After running for a long time, he finally reached the circus camp. There he dug the ground again and easily got inside. But when he reached the cage of Dreamer, he did not understand how to open the cage. Still, Mozart did not give up. He picked up a stick and tried to open the cage. Seeing this, Dreamer also immediately got up and started helping. But that weak stick was nothing in front of the strong iron bars. The sound coming from the cage caught Alan's attention. He did not understand Dreamer's anxiety, so he decided to open the cage. At that moment, Mozart suddenly jumped out and dropped Alan on the ground. Then Mozart and Dreamer both ran away from there. Finally, both friends met again. Now it was time to go back home. Following the paths of the jungle and the familiar scents, the lion and the wolf started looking for their way. When they were hungry, they both hid in a supermarket and ate there. The security guard heard the sound and came running. But as soon as he saw a lion and a wolf inside the supermarket, he immediately ran backwards and entered the security room and called the police. But Mozart and Dreamer had already gone far. Meanwhile, Ellie told Alma that Mozart had saved Dreamer. Ellie asked Alma for help. Mozart still had a tracking collar around his neck, so his location was quickly traced. Now the entire city's police was looking for Mozart and Dreamer. Alan also reached the jungle with his rifle. Soon he saw Dreamer drinking water near the river. Alan picked up the rifle and aimed, but Mozart reacted immediately. Without thinking, he slapped Alan, but he got a tranquilizer dart. This dose was for Dreamer and could have been fatal for Mozart. To escape, Alan told Rafa to throw the tracking collar somewhere, but Rafa secretly hid it under his clothes. After Alan and Rafa left, Dreamer ran to Mozart and tried to wake him up. Ellie and Alma used the tracker signal to find Alan and Rafa, but Alan lied everything. He said he found the collar on the way. After they left, Rafa made an excuse and went to the washroom, but he secretly returned to Ellie and Alma. He showed them the same place where the white wolf was caught, but Mozart was not there anymore. Alma was very restless. She had to find Mozart and Dreamer before the police. With Rafa's suggestion, Alma got an idea. She thought she would drive while playing the same music that she used to play while practicing. As soon as the music started, Dreamer heard the familiar tune and ran out. He was happy to see Alma and took her to a small wooden hut, which was in the forest. Mozart was so happy to see them that he kissed Alma with love, as if he was expressing all his hidden feelings. Alma ran to tell everyone that she has found Mozart. But then, Alan came with a rifle and asked to hand over Dreamer to him. Everyone was surprised when Rafa came in front of Alan. At the same time, the police also reached there. Alma ran inside the cabin and took Mozart and Dreamer out of a hidden tunnel. By the time the police came in, all three of them had left. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you never miss a new video.